Hey, what's going on, everybody? Outside the squared circle, back again. I'm Frank. That's Dennis. Now, as all of us boxing heads know, we got some really, really big and surprising news yesterday. First things first, Amir Khan versus Canelo Alvarez at 155
Mm.
for the middleweight title. Um, I'm really opinionated on this. So I'm gonna throw it to Dennis, see what you have to say, and then maybe I can piggyback a few things because usually we're on the same wavelength. Well, what were your initial thoughts when that fight got announced?
First thing I was thinking was, what?
Yeah.
When did this happen? Because sometimes there's rumors or sources say things of that nature, but this was none of that. It was just like
Mm-hmm.
we have no idea um, um, who Amir Khan is fighting. Maybe he might fight. You know what I mean? A guy like Vargas, just a just somebody to get in front of him until we can get that fight. Kell Brook, we won't. And then we were saying with Canelo, we were gonna say maybe we might get a Gabe Rosado until we
Right.
can get that fight we want. GGG. So that's what we thought. We never. It was never any strong talks or rumors. Then out of nowhere, it was like done.
I
Ta-da!
know.
Amir Khan versus
I
Canelo.
know.
And so it was so shocking. I was like, wait, huh? But my initial thoughts was Khan jumped not one but two weight classes.
Yeah.
He went past 147 and 154. Even though they're not fighting at the 160, they're fighting at 155 or the Canelo weight,
Yeah.
as he would call it. He's fighting for a title, two weight classes that he don't like. So, and you got to think about it. How many Amir Khan he's only had what maybe 3 or 4 fights at 147
I think
because people's
two.
even been saying
Wasn't it two?
people been saying how
Or three.
I
It
think
was three. It was three.
I think it's
Alexander,
three,
Colazo,
three,
and Algeria. Yeah, three.
and in Algeria. So he's only fought 3 fights at 147.
Yeah.
So you look at it, he's making a huge leap.
Yeah.
But the only thing is that validates maybe he can do it because Amir Khan is a really broad shoulder,
Yeah.
lanky dude. He's 5'10". He's actually the same height as GGG.
Mm-hmm.
If we being technical about it.
Yeah.
So he may have the frame to fill up the size, and it may even help you because I've always heard how Khan kind of kills himself to get down in weight,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm thinking one or two things. Either this is going to really help him. He's going to have a lot of energy. He's going to be healthy. He's not going to. His legs won't be weak. He won't be drained. Or I'm thinking, will this weight affect him and take away his biggest asset, which is his speed?
Mm-hmm.
Can his? That's what I'm thinking. When he goes up, will his speed translate over? Will it hold him down? So it can either go either way. But I'm hoping for the first pick because I really want to see a great fight
Yeah.
because and this is why it can be a great fight because style everybody knows style makes fights and the contrast to this fight is going to be intriguing. You got a guy like Canelo, right? Counter puncher. That's one of the Amir Khan's Achilles heels because of
Yeah.
his chin.
Yeah.
So you got a guy he's a counter puncher. And Canelo Alvarez, when he comes in the ring, the kid is almost a super middleweight. So he's going to be bigger than Amir Khan
Yeah.
naturally. Harder puncher. And I dare to say he has more experience because he's fought I think he's fought the better competition. And I don't know, maybe it's even on competition. But one thing I can say, he's been fighting before because Canelo been fighting since he was like 16. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
He's been playing pro
So,
since about 16.
yeah. So on that aspect, I maybe think he may have a little bit more experience. But Khan has fought them all too. If
Yeah.
you look at it, he's fought he's fought the Paulies, he's fought the Zabs, he's fought the Dannies, he's
Mm-hmm.
fought the Mont Petersons, he's
The
fought
Maidanas.
he's a Mike Donner. He fought he fought a wide array of fighters himself.
Mm-hmm.
So this is definitely going to be an interesting match because I want to see, can Amir Khan's speed, can it neutralize the sheer size and power of Canelo?
Right.
Because, I mean, I got to be honest. Canelo is a 160 pounder. He's a 160 pounder.
Yeah, well, we've said that. We've been on record saying that for a while now.
Right. And I dare to say, in a year, that kid probably could fight at 168. I dare to say, if he wants to, I believe in a year's time, say if he somehow beats GGG, right? Canelo, right? He beats Khan and he beats GGG. If he wants to, I think he can fight somebody at 168. I'm not saying he cleans it out like Ward, but I think he could.
He's big enough to fight there.
Only might be because he's 5'7".
Right.
He's sort of short, but he's a big, strong kid. He's not even he's big and he's solid.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like I seen the video of him sparring Roberto. What is his name? What is his name? Roberto Ramirez, the one that
Gilberto Ramirez.
Gilberto Ramirez. I seen him spar Roberto Ramirez, and Roberto Ramirez is a 168, and he was giving him all he could have to.
Yeah.
So that's what made me think that maybe Canelo could fight 168 one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
But so that's how I look at it. I look at size versus speed. Now I'm gonna go ahead and be real quick before I turn it over to you. In my mind, what do I think has to happen for either one to win? Amir Khan has to adopt what Algieri was saying about being a master boxer when he was fighting Pacquiao. He has to be a master boxer. Only thing, he can't be out of the cage. He can't take that.
Yeah.
It's gonna let me out of the cage because he might never get out. First round, he has to be out of the cage against Canelo. He has to be a master boxer. Every round, he has to move, pop. If he gets too close, hold, get away, move, pop. He has to make his speed work from every second of every round. If he does two things, if he does the Amir Khan, my heart is bigger than my chin. I'm gonna bang with you. He's out of there. If he does the hold and push move too much, which allow him to get hit instant, Canelo can body punch. His uppercut, he's gonna get hurt. So he needs to be in the best stamina shape, and I think he should be able to because he doesn't maybe have to lose all that much weight.
Right.
You know what I mean? He shouldn't be that drained, so he needs to be in great stamina shape. His speed needs to be on point, so he needs to come in there, and it needs to look like a heavy bag versus a speed bag.
Yeah. That's
how Amir Khan wins. Canelo simply needs to do what he does. He needs to counter punch, take his time. I don't think he needs to try to say, I'm going to out-throw him, I'm going to show I can. No, just do what you do. Cut that ring off. Counter punch him. Take your time. Because Amir Khan, at times he can be reckless and make him pay. Because if he just gets outside the rim doing anything that he normally does, you leave room for Amir Khan to steal rounds and hit you more than you should be. Just do what you have to do. And one thing I got to say, we haven't seen it lately, but he needs to not gas out. We can't see the old Canelo that used to gas out sometimes. That's number one, he cannot gas out. If he gasses out and he starts to fight only half of every round like he used to, it's going to be a long night for Canelo. What do you think?
First thoughts when the fight got made. I had two first thoughts. First thought number one was, damn, they got Khan to stay quiet throughout all these negotiations.
Right, his mouth likes to go.
Right, and I mean, and you know what? And that also made me think maybe he learned his lesson from the Pacquiao and Floyd fights where he was talking too much. And when you're the challenger and you talk that much, camps don't like that, especially when they have options. When you have options, you're not going to go with that. We're moving on. So that was my first thought. Second thought was, man, you know, and myself and you have both been critical of his recent competition. We're like, man, we need him to get in there against a Garcia rematch. Right. We need him against Kell Brook. And then I was like, man, I'm cool with it now. Everyone he's fought now, he has all the balls in the world for taking this fight. Because
Right.
just like you said, he's only had 3 fights at 147. Now he's moving up to technically middleweight, but to 154, and he's fighting a big
Right.
boy. He's not fighting now. Had he fought Miguel Cotto, they're about the same size. You know that would have been you'd have been like, okay, cool, good fight. But I mean, you're talking about a big kid. Canelo comes in weighing 172, 175. He's big. He's just thick. You know what I mean? And I mean, so that was my first two thoughts. Was that I gave all the credit in the world to Amir Khan. Once the shock wore off and I was able to sit and kind of think a little bit more, there are two things that I don't like about this fight. If you guys don't know, Canelo is my favorite fighter right now. I will never be biased towards him in my analysis. I'll never be biased scoring a fight. But I just have to throw that out there to let you know that even if I like a fighter, I will critique him. Now, my two problems with the fight were, one, it's at 155. I've never been a fan of catchweights. I don't care who it is. I don't care what their status is. Either 154 or 160. There are very few situations in which I agree with the catchweight. If it's a super fight that has to get made, and maybe they're a division away, maybe meet in the middle.
I got a
Maybe.
question for you.
What's up?
If Amir Khan asks for a rehydration clause because he just doesn't want Canelo coming in a super middleweight, how would you feel about that?
See, I'm not a fan of catchweights or rehydration clauses. I know people will say it's not fair because Canelo is that big, but as fighter B, you know what fighter A is. So if you
Right.
can't fight him at his best, which we know Canelo's going to rehydrate from anywhere to 168 to 175, then you have no business fighting him. That was my biggest gripe with Porter and Broner, was that I hated that rehydration clause that they had. So I'm not a fan
Right.
of catchweights or rehydration clauses, if we're being honest. So that was my first thing, was the catchweight. Second thing was that it's for the middleweight title. Now, no one would be complaining about this fight had they'd be fighting at 154, no title, or maybe even for a 154 strap. Everyone would be nice and cool with it, but you just cannot fight for the middleweight title at 155. It's bullshit. It just can't happen. You know what I mean? And just like I said, I love Canelo. Canelo's my favorite fighter. Now, that all being said, all will be forgiven if he beats Khan, obviously, and then goes on to fight Gennady Golovkin at the end of the year. No one even remembered this fight. You know what I mean? And I told people this from the jump. When Gab Rosado was being mentioned with Canelo, when who was the other, when Lemieux was being mentioned with Canelo, and everyone was up in arms. Oh, what does he do? And I said, look, I said, take Gennady Golovkin and take Canelo Alvarez right now. Their next opponent, you're not going to be happy with it, because they're not going to fight a world beater before they fight
Right.
each other.
It
It's
makes
just not going to.
sense. Why would you?
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. We know that fight's on the horizon, so they're gonna take someone who's maybe a C-rated fighter, a B-rated fighter, maybe a smaller guy. And you know what? I'm actually surprised that, with all that being said, that Canelo even took a name as big as Amir Khan. To be honest
Right.
with you, because usually if you're gonna fight someone where the odds are highly in your favor, it's gonna be someone we don't know, and it's like, oh, he's number 7 on the WBC list,
Mhm.
or whatever, what have you. You know what I mean? But the fact that he even took someone with this big a name, for the heat to be that high on him, surprised me. It surprised me a lot.
He got both of them have balls. Both of them really do.
No, they do, because I think is crazy as a lot of people are making it sound. Amir Khan does have a chance in this fight, because the one thing that Amir Khan knows how to do is he knows how to win rounds. That's been stated throughout his whole career. You just see it when he's fighting. I mean, you even look back to fights. The only fight you take out is the Algieri fight. Algieri fought his ass off that fight. I know a lot of people want to say that Amir Khan maybe had an off night, but to me, that's just taking credit away from Chris Algieri, because he fought a hell of a fight that night. He was amazing. But I say all that to say that we know Amir Khan has skills. We absolutely know that anyone from 147 to 154 could lose to Amir Khan. I mean, that being said, we all know Amir Khan's chinny. So, I mean, that to me just adds into how much hard it takes for him to get in there with Canelo. But in analyzing the fight, just like you said, it basically comes down to speed versus power. But with that being said, I don't know how much his speed is going to translate, just like you said, to that higher weight class. I mean, and especially his power, though. We've seen him at 135 have monster power, and then he moved up to 140, and his power was still good. You know, it was okay. And then now at 147, he really hasn't hurt anybody. So is he really going to be able to hurt Canelo? He's going to be able to land. You know, he's fast enough. He has fast enough hands. He'll land some good left hands, maybe some hooks to the body. But you're talking about a dude who just took punches from Austin Trout, from Floyd, from James Kirkland, from Alfredo Angulo, from Arislan Lara. He took their best shots and wasn't hurt once. Is he really going to be bothered by the power of Amir Khan? So that's what I mean. So just like you said, I have the same exact thought as you. The way for Amir Khan to win this fight is to absolutely box perfectly. One mistake could be night-night because Canelo is such a good, accurate puncher. And let's not discount Canelo's hand speed. Canelo has very, very good hand speed, especially for someone his size. So I don't think he has faster hands than Amir Khan, but I say that just to say that he's going to be there that night. And if Amir Khan makes a mistake, just like you said, he lets his heart get too big in that ring, he takes an unnecessary chance. You know, a straight right hand from Canelo might put him to sleep. I mean, Canelo knocked out 175-pound James Kirkland. So
Right.
You know what I mean? Amir Khan says he's going to be weighing in 165 night of the fight. So the weight disparity isn't going to be all that big. Night it'll be anywhere from 5 to 6 pounds, whatever. But we all know Canelo's the bigger fighter. He's just bigger, he's thicker, he's more compact, and he's been hit by 154 and 160 pounders. Amir Khan has not. He's been hurt and knocked out by smaller guys that don't hit as hard as Canelo. So,
Right.
I mean, ultimately, I'd like to save my prediction for a later episode, and maybe we can even get into it, but I can't see another alternative other than Canelo winning by KO middle to late rounds. I just don't see any other alternative unless, I mean, if Amir Khan has the perfect game plan and he outboxes him, I will take my hat off to him because with me predicting a Canelo knockout isn't me disrespecting Amir Khan. He's highly skilled, but he's just in over his head. Canelo's too big. He's too big, too strong, works the body too well. He's too accurate, and Amir Khan's just too chinny. I mean that's my take. So as you guys know, Canelo versus Khan wasn't the only fight announced. We have Gennady Golovkin versus Dominic Wade at 160 for his strap. I had much lesser thoughts about that fight than I did the Canelo Khan fight. But nevertheless, we're going to see what Dennis has to say about it.
Well, you know what? I've been doing my homework. Dominic Wade, hey, he's a big kid, actually.
Yeah.
And I was looking at him. He's not like some small middleweight, and he can actually hit. He can crack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's no GGG, of course. I'm not saying he can punch as hard as of course.
Right.
But I'm saying he can put up a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, you know what I mean? This is not some guy that anybody should be mad at. Like, Dominic Wade, who is this kid? No, he's a formidable opponent. You know what I mean? Like, he's not somebody that I expect to go in there and get Rubio. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get punched. You know what I'm saying? Get punched and then, okay, I'm done. Second round.
Right.
I expect this to maybe go 6 or 7, and that's no disrespect to Wade by saying 6 or 7 as in he won't finish the fight. But right now, Jesus is a special type of animal.
Right.
You know what I mean? You gotta have a lot of different things besides being big and strong. Because you look at Martin Murray is a big and strong guy.
Yeah.
You know he was able to make it to the 11th. You know what I mean? And he wouldn't have he didn't have any quitting him had they not stopped it.
Right.
But you gotta have more than one trick in the bag to beat. And I'm not saying Dominic is not as good as Murray, but I don't know that he is as good as that. I've seen a few clips. I'm gonna continue to look further more. That's why I say as time goes on, I'll be able to give maybe a more accurate opinion on what I think what happened and so forth. But right now, what I've seen, he's a big, strong guy that can crack. Should make it interesting. It should be a very interesting fight. And I expect him, so everybody out there should expect him to put up a fight and actually test Gigi a little bit. I mean, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Triple G should get tested a little bit in this. And I have no problems with this fight because, like as we said, nobody expects Triple G to go, you know what I mean, try to fight. I don't even know who else is out there. You know what I mean? But you know what? Let me state this. As I recall, Triple G did try to go fight the guy that just what is his name? The Saunders. He just tried to fight.
Oh yeah,
Saunders,
Billy Joe.
Champion. Yeah, he tried to fight Billy Joe. He did attempt to try to round up every title he could before he can get to Canelo. So you know what? I respect not only the heart, but what he stands for. He wants to prove he's the absolute best at 160.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? I would have really liked to see that fight, but Saunders made it clear he was 18 months away and he wasn't really trying to take the fight. Yes, he got a special amount of money. And they really tried to push the money too. Yeah. They were trying to get this kid all that they possibly could give him before it was like he's really not interested. We can wait. We will if he has it, we will get that title from him or whoever else has it. But right now, we'll just fight it mandatory because really our main focus is on Canelo. So we're gonna go in there and take care of business, and then we'll be ready. Now, with that being said, I want to ask you this: if somehow, some way, Amir Khan was able to beat Canelo, do you think Amir Khan should be forced to fight Triple G?
See, that's funny. That question popped up a lot on message boards and all over Facebook pages. This is my thing. I have to preface my answer with this: I'm getting sick of the middleweight title being fought for at catchweights. I need the middleweight title to be fought for at 160. I mean, we saw it with Miguel Cotto fighting first against Sergio Martinez at 159. Then was it Gil at 157, and then Canelo at 155, right? Now, Canelo's fighting at 155 for it. So, if Amir Khan beats Canelo, right, miraculously, and he wins that strap. Now, if he wants to campaign at 160, by all means, give him a tune-up fight or two. Let him get comfortable with the weight for all I care, as long as it's at 160. Now, if Amir Khan wins it and he says, 158, no. You can have those fights when they're not for belts, when it's for all, when it's for the title, the middleweight lineal championship. No, I'm not having it. I'm not having that. And that being said,
it's either get rid of the title or fight at the weight.
Exactly. That's my stance. I'm consistent with that. That's one thing I will always be consistent with is if you're not going to fight at the weight limit, take your belt. You can fight at catchweights when they're not for belts. I'm cool with that. I don't agree with it, but I'm cool with it. But when it's for a belt, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. What about you? What do you think?
You know what? I agree with you. We always agree on the catchweight thing. I'm just like, if you're going to fight at the weight that is designated. That's what I think. But being that Khan is really a 147-pounder, I would even not want him to take the fight, honestly.
Yeah.
I respect his... I mean, I even remember Khan saying before, I'll fight GG. I'm not afraid of him. I remember him saying that. And I get it. All fighters, you're not afraid of any man. You didn't get in the sport of boxing to cower and run away from people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's being smart and being intelligent. And I don't know if it would be the intelligent thing for him to fight Triple G. So I would want Khan to say, you know what? I'm not going to disrespect this title. I'm not a 160-pounder now. You know what? Here you go. I'm going to have my own version sitting in my house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
That Triple G can go ahead and fight, Danny Jacobs for it or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Go ahead. You guys do it. You guys are 160 pounds. I would want that for Khan. But if Khan says, I want to fight you, I would not want him to fight below the 160 weight limit. But I might respect it just because he's going to get knocked out either way. It wouldn't matter if he came in the ring 160 or 155. GGG is still going to knock him out. It wouldn't matter. I know this is like Amir Khan. which
Yeah.
he wants. For
No.
that reason, I wouldn't trip.
Yeah. No.
Only on him though.
It's funny. It's funny because you thought of the nicest way to say it, and it just still came out. Like you couldn't sugarcoat it.
I couldn't make it any nicer. Like, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. He's gonna have a good night rest.
Yeah. No,
So,
for sure. It's
either or.
Yeah, and it's, you know what, and just like you said, man, just to put it in the phrase that I always like to, we have weight classes for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, you have the smaller versions of guys where maybe, you know, a big 147 pounder can fight a smaller 160 pounder, but I mean, it just won't, it can't happen in this case. You know what I mean? It just can't happen. And for selfish reasons too, though, because we all know that the Canelo versus Golovkin fight is a much better fight than Amir Khan versus Gennady Golovkin. Let's be fair. So if we're looking forward, I feel like as boxing fans, we should be rooting for Canelo to win and for Gennady Golovkin to win, unless you just don't like good fights.
I want that fight.
Right, exactly. But now, and then the funny part is though, with that being said, I see a lot of people like, you know what? I really hope Amir Khan wins and Dominic Wade wins, and it's like, why? Why do you want that? Like
What do you get out of saying Amir Khan versus Dominic Wade?
That's what I mean, and I get it. Like, you're a little bit bitter that they didn't fight right away, but if you don't know how boxing goes by now, let's come on, let's be real. We all knew they weren't gonna. Exactly. We all knew, and it just seems like some people don't always understand. This isn't the NBA. This isn't the NFL. This isn't baseball where you're going to be playing the best right away or playoff style where things get built up here, and that's unfortunate. I would love to see, you know, Cotto Canelo, and then Canelo Golovkin, and then Golovkin Ward, and then Ward, you know, this guy. And it's
Amir Khan, Kell Brook. We would love this match, the best versus the best. But unfortunately, you build things up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes sense sometimes to say, you know what? Hey, let's have one fight. You know, we show this, we show that. Now we have something to contrast for, and then we take it, and it's all building up to one big fight. And I have no problem with it if it's just one fight in between.
We'll see.
Even, like you said, even Ward and Cole. Building up to it. Right.
And see, but the thing is, though, I think what a lot of people don't take into consideration, though, is that this isn't like a team sport. Like, if the Patriots lose to the Broncos in the playoffs this year, right? Next year, they're still going in as the favorite out of the AFC. Their stock doesn't drop at all.
Right.
In boxing, if Frank and Dennis fight and Dennis beats Frank, my stock is gone now. I lose my bargaining chips. I lose the amount of money I can ask for. I lose who I should be fighting next. Now I have to fight everyone and everyone instead of being able to pick who I want. People don't get that. And it sucks because I know it's a political thing, but that's just the way it is. When a fighter loses, their stock drops. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what kind of fight it was. The only time that doesn't happen is when it's like a Pacquiao Marquez 1-3, when they're that close and you have no, you know, it's razor thin. It's like, okay, their stocks are the same or they both went up.
Decisive winner to be like,
Right, but see, and that's the thing, though. It has to be a non-decisive winner, but and also a very good and entertaining fight. Because when there's a non-decisive winner and it's boring, or they're holding the whole fight, or neither of them look like they want to win the fight, both of their stocks have gone down now. You know what I mean? It's very seldom that two people fight each other and both of their stocks go up, whether it was a draw or a very close win. So that's what people don't get.
An amazing fight, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. It has to be an Arturo Gotti Ward Gotti fight. It has to be a Pacquiao Marquez type fight, and that's what people don't always understand, is that you have to look at it from a boxer standpoint and as well as a promotional standpoint. You know, these promoters don't want to keep back and forth, the best versus the best, because they're going to eventually lose. That fighter will eventually lose, and they can't capitalize on all the money that's there, which is understandable. It's been happening since, and people want to look back like, oh, well, I'll leave this and Julio Cesar Chavez, and these dudes were.
What happens after that? Say if you beat him and him and him, right? Now your name gets huge because you beat all these guys.
Yeah.
Now you pick if you start. Who do you fight?
Right. And then that's exactly, you're right, and that's why you need build-ups. That's why you need that, because especially if dudes are fighting back to back to back, you have no time. Now you have to assume that both of these guys are already here. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes we have a Canelo and we have a Gennady Golovkin, and we need to continue to build. Let them call each other out. Let them talk and talk, so then he gets here. And now this fight is maximized. You're taking a chance in doing so. We've seen many fights in the past get ruined because one fighter lost before they got to each other. But that's the chance you have to be willing to take to maximize profits. And that's what a lot of people don't get. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, Broner even said this, and people keep putting Broner and Danny Garcia name together like that'd be such a great fight because they styles. And Broner came out and said, "Look, I like Danny Garcia. He's a friend of mine, but that fight will happen because it's an unavoidable fight. Everybody really want it even now." But he said, "Think about it. If I'm able to take care of 140 and become the best here, by the time I move to 147." Danny should either have taken over 147, name got bigger, or maybe he's dropped a little bit, and I'm just coming back to 147, so it's equal.
Right.
We gotta make it so the networks want to pay us the most amount of money for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you just don't go fight. You know what I mean? You just don't go fight a guy that's never lost, the top guy who's dominating. Right now, when you just had to come back from a loss to get a title, right now, before Danny Garcia versus Adrian Broner, the top fight is really Adrian Broner versus Crawford at 140.
Yeah, I
or
agree.
Danny Garcia
or even
versus Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or
like,
even
there's other fights.
I know, I agree with you, but even 140. There's Herrera still down there. Right. Lucas Matisse hasn't moved up yet. He's still a player. The kid who beat Matisse. Why am I blanking on his name? That kid can flat out fight.
Pistol.
Yeah, Victor Postol. He might be the best dude at 140 right now. I mean, we have.
I honestly had him ranked first, and then Crawford. And there's no disrespect to Crawford because Crawford is a superstar. He's a rising.
Oh yeah,
superstar.
That's my boy. I love me some Terrence Crawford.
But fighting wise,
that's a bad kid.
He's so big and long and technical. It's gonna be hard for anybody down there to whoop that dude.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Hey, here. But before we get closing, I just want to say I'll share my final thoughts, and I want to hear what you say too. This year might be a absolutely brilliant year for boxing with all the matchups that are brewing. You're talking about 140. You're talking about Herrera either fighting Crawford or Postol fighting Crawford, and Broner still in the mix. You're talking about 147 where we finally got Thurman and Porter fighting. The winner of that might fight Garcia if Khan doesn't looks good or even holds his own against Canelo. He can come back down to 147. He's still in the mix. Kell Brooks down there.
Wants to fight Kell even after this fight. He said he was like Kell's still gonna be there. We might get Kell versus Khan. We already getting Porter versus Thurman. We're getting right now Lamont Peterson versus what's his name that just fought Floyd? Berto.
Oh yeah, that fight got.
We're getting these fights.
That's what I'm saying.
Get a chance to see Earl Spence fight a big name. We're gonna see what this kid really has.
That's what I mean.
Mega.
And then you're talking about maybe Canelo Golovkin by the end of the year, and then you're talking about Ward and Kovalev by the. I mean, man, this might be. Oh, and then you talk about that, but then
2014. Remember?
Exactly.
2014 was great, and then 2015 was like,
and then
great again.
And then
back to what we. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and then we can't forget about the heavyweights because there are a great amount of matchups there. I mean, you're talking.
I just put up a post of Wilder versus Povetkin, and then after Povetkin, he wants to fight Fury. So it's like Wilder versus Fury for all the titles. It's like.
And then you still have Ortiz in the mix. I mean, that boy can flat out fight. I mean, you're talking about, man.
Luis Ortiz, he can bang, man.
And then David Hayes back in the mix, and then you got Anthony Joshua was in them. I mean, you're talking about, dude. There's a boxing is this year is looking very, very good for. And you're talking about even the little guys. Roman Gonzalez got a few good fights down there. I mean, you're talking about Leo Santa Cruz is coming up. You're talking about Vasily Lomachenko. You're talking about Rigondeaux might be hopping. I mean, we got some solid fights this year to be made, man. If you give me four of those fights of the people we mentioned. That's a great year for boxing.
I heard Bob Arum said he wants to fight Lomachenko. He wants to fight him against the Axeman at 130 because he thinks both of them are too big for 126, and I think that's what you call his problem because he lost his title on the scales.
Yeah.
Nicholas Walters.
I forgot about Nick Walters.
I think it'd even be better for them to fight at 130 because they're both bigger. He was like, look. Nobody wants to fight Lomachenko right now at 126.
No, that's a bad dude.
Nobody wants him.
That's a bad dude.
Let's just have him. Lomachenko versus Walters at 130. Oh my God.
But you know who does want him though? Gary Russell's been calling him out since he picked up
Has
that win. Yeah, he wants that rematch bad. He wants that rematch real bad.
Asking for it.
Yeah, he talked about it a few times.
Since he lost too,
He does. That would be. I wouldn't mind seeing that rematch at all because he looked.
You know the thing. I think he underestimated him. I think it was part of him underestimating Lomachenko, but only had like 2 fights. Like, you know, come and beat me with 2 pro fights. And then it was the fact that it was his promotion fault for never letting him fight any real tough fighters.
Yeah, I know.
The kid was just fighting C fighters his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
And you threw him in with an A fighter.
You throw him.
A guy that can beat almost anybody this weight. It was like, whoa, this is a huge talent jump. Now Gary knows I got to bring everything for him.
Yeah, they threw him in. He just wasn't ready for it. I don't think his team realized that how big of a talent gap that was going from who he was fighting going right up against Vasily. I mean, that was crazy. But
he got thrown with the Lions, bro.
Man, he got absolutely thrown to the Lions. But I know we've been talking a little bit, so we can end it. Guys, please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us. Well, I know I've said this in the past, but I promise this time we're gonna be more consistent. We're coming out at least once a week. We're gonna be chugging them out. So stick with us. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. I'll throw that in the description. Comment. Let us know what you think. Like the video. That would be absolutely wonderful. And share the video, man. If you're a boxing fan, you know at least another boxing fan. Let them see it. Let them tell us what they think. I mean, we're always in for feedback. Whether it's on our Facebook post, whether it's on our video, so just let us know what's up. We're always here. We're very easily accessible. We'll always message you back. We'll always reply to your comments and all that. So just give us likes, man.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Hip Hop All Around. We may start featuring some of our videos on their site. I want to give a big shout out to them and a big shout out to one of the guys that run it, Tommy. Much love, all the fans there. Check us out. Look for us on YouTube. Check out our podcast is there. Check out our site, Under the Square Circle. Like you said, we're gonna be more consistent. We even got dates that we're gonna continue to push the videos out for you. This boxing's about to heat up, so we have a lot to talk about. But thank you guys for listening and giving us your time. God bless you.